In this Webflow tutorial, I'll teach you how to make a calendar date picker from start date to end date inside a Webflow native form. And when you go ahead and hit the form submissions, it will go ahead and send an email notification. So you may have seen these specific date pickers in popular websites such as booking accommodation, as you can see right here, start date and end date. You may see it in Airbnb, for example, start date and end date. You'll notice in Airbnb, sometimes it's fully booked out. So also teach you how to make this grayed out. And of course, you see it in none other than airline websites, such as the Philippines Airline, the heart of the Filipino people. So you can see, you can pick the departure date followed by the return date. So this is nothing new, super cool stuff. You can tell there's a lot of different variables, like you can add buttons, you can change the styling, but the premise is there. So in this specific tutorial, we're going to go ahead and build this one right here, where there's going to be a start date, end date, and you'll notice the dates are grayed out. And towards the end of the video, I'm going to teach you how to build a CMS functionality where your clients can actually block out days. So you'll notice I've actually blocked out the entire August right here. This is actually a CMS collection. And you notice you can't actually click August. You can go ahead and click the other dates available. So the great thing about this also is if I refresh the page, that start date is always the date of today, which is the 12th of July, 2026. Interesting to see what day you're watching this and what day I uploaded it. Without further ado, let's quickly jump into Webflow. The first thing we want to do is just add that form. It's just a default Webflow form. And I'm just going to quickly just style it. Maybe put a gray background like this. And I'm going to perhaps just add a grid, a 2-column grid inside. And I'm going to go ahead and just remove the email address field. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a div block inside this grid. And I'm going to go ahead and just copy this name and this text field under here. And I'll go ahead and put the submit button inside the 2-column grid. And I'll go ahead and just duplicate this name field and just make this submit button full width. So I'm just styling it, right? I'm going to go ahead and rename the name to start date and the other name to end date. And obviously, we want to click inside the text field, hit settings right here. This is just a regular text field. This is if you hit plus right here, and we scroll all the way down to input field right here in the forms. That's all I'm doing. This is very basic stuff. The next thing is I want to go ahead and change the name right here because that's what you get sent as an email notification. And I've made a tutorial in the past how to set up form submissions. So please check that out. But here, I'm just going to put start date. And for the end date right here, I'm going to put end date. And obviously, I have typos right here because I'm not that smart. So once that's done, that's all you need. We can go ahead and put this to be required fields. And the next step is to add an attribute. So with the start date field selected in settings, in attributes at the bottom, we want to go ahead plus. And with the name, we want to go ahead and give it data-date picker. And I'm just going to copy this name. And I'm going to go ahead and put the value as start. That's it. Now with the end of date, we want to go ahead and add an attribute, exact same name, data-date picker with the value of end. So once that's done, we'll go ahead and head over to the page settings right here, P pages. We'll go and hit the gear icon in the page settings, and we'll go ahead and paste in our custom code in the body. So I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description with this custom code and a free clonable just for you guys. So once that's done, we'll go ahead and hit save. And if you guys are really curious of like why I added this code in the body tag, just letting you know, I've already made a previous tutorial about custom code and where to place it, whether in the page settings or in the site settings. I'll go ahead and save right here. And believe it or not, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and republish my site. And I'll go ahead and just refresh the page. And you notice we have a start date and an end date. Obviously, I can't hit submit because I put those fields as mandatory fields. So we can go ahead and hit the start date. It'll open up this lovely pop-up. You'll notice again, today's the 12th of July. It automatically grayed out any previous dates. But we can go ahead and hit 12th. And we can go ahead and select it to the 24th. And it's there. If we hit submit, it will go ahead and say, please wait. And then it says your submission has been received. Obviously, you can make a success date yourself. But if we go ahead and check the email notifications, right here, it says email form. And it says start date and end date. So it goes ahead and spits that out. Perfect. So that's been done. That's literally as easy as it is. I'm now going to teach you how to block out specific dates using the Webflow CMS. So let's go ahead and head over back to Webflow. We'll go ahead and hit CMS on the top left. We'll go ahead and make a new collection. And I've already made a detailed tutorial on how to use the Webflow CMS. We actually built a blog page. So check out that tutorial after this video. So I'll go ahead and give it a collection name. So I'll just call it date blocked out, or you can call it whatever you want that's applicable. With the custom fields, we'll go ahead and add field, and we'll go ahead and add a date/time. We'll make sure that this is required, and we'll give this a label of start date and hit enter. We'll go ahead and add another one, date and time, and we'll call this end date. And we'll go ahead and make sure that this is required as well. We'll hit save, and that's it. We'll hit create collection. And now the client can go into this CMS, whatever you decide to call it, hit this new blue button right here, and they can block out specific dates. So for example, you'll give it a name because CMS is a mandatory name field. They might call it, August bookings, for example. Then we'll put the start date to be, let's say, August. It's going to be fully booked from, let's say, the 4th of August. And the end date will be, let's say, for example, the 20th of August. So you can see right here. We'll go ahead and hit queue for next site publish, or you can go ahead and publish it. I'll go back into my Webflow project by hitting the CMS once again. And this puts me back to this specific CMS in-depth page. So we're headed back to pages and make sure we're back into that specific page that we have the date selector in. In my case, it's the home page. And that's it. We'll go ahead and add a collection list inside, and we'll go ahead and link that source to the date blocked out. So once that's done, inside this CMS item right here, I'll go ahead and make sure that my navigator, you can see it on the left-hand side, this specific collection list right here, collection list item, we'll go ahead and head over to style and make sure that this specific div has the class of date-range. We'll go ahead, hit enter. And then inside this CMS item, we'll go ahead and pull in the start and end dates. So I'll go ahead and add a text block, and I'll go ahead and change the text to be the start date. And we want to also make sure that we hit this settings and we change the format to a very specific format. You'll notice it's year, month, day, if I remember correctly. So we'll go ahead and click this, and we'll change it to year, month, day right here. So that's the format that we need to change it to. Once this is done, we can go ahead and just duplicate this. So we can go ahead and hit the second one, hit the gear icon, and change it to be the end dates. So now that's done, we just need to add one more thing, which is the attributes, so that the code can identify it. So with the start date selected, we'll head over to settings on the right-hand side. We'll add an attribute, and with the name, we want to call it data-start. Now the value doesn't matter, but I'm just going to put true as the value. And I'll go ahead and select the end text right here. I'll go into attributes. I'll go ahead and paste the exact same name, except this time it's data-end. And I'll also put the value as true, although it doesn't matter. So once that's done, that's literally it. We can go ahead and republish the site and test if this worked. You'll notice we have the dates here. So August 4th to August 20th, we blacked out. We'll go hit start date, and you'll notice August 4th to August 20th is blacked out. So that's how the client can go into the CMS and just black out dates that they don't want. Obviously, as Webflow developers, with my hand raised up 7,789,000 times, we can go back into Webflow, and obviously we can wrap this specific collection list into a div block and obviously give it a class of maybe CMS/hide, and we can put the display to be none. So it doesn't show on the front end, right? I'm not showing this step because this is almost like an intermediate to advanced tutorial. But one other thing you'll notice is the specific code. So ideally, you guys should have a high-level premise or understanding of the code. So if we go back into the page, we'll go into the gear icon, and let's go ahead and just inspect the code just to see what is going on. So you'll notice that this code is even giving you comments. And I'll just be very honest, guys. I used AI to generate this code, but essentially it's using a library called flat picker, right? And it's essentially putting custom code to style that specific UI. So for example, it's changing the background to be white, the width to be auto, the border radius to be 16 pixels. This is how you can actually style what this looks like, this UI, right? This is nothing new under the sun. This is just CSS classing. Then if we scroll all the way down, you will notice this is a script. And essentially that script is targeting specific classes to make sure that that code is working. And at the very bottom, we're using attributes with end and start. So that's where it's coming from. And we're using a very specific date format, which is year, month, date, like I showed you. And that's essentially it. So if you do want to change this up, you can re-edit the code and rejig it. This is for the advanced people. If you really can't be bothered, you can just put the code that I just put and put it into an AI search engine. For example, Gemini. I'm using Gemini. Or you can use Claude, and you can say, hey, make these specific, colors to be blue instead of red. But obviously, you should know where that is. Like, it's really just this hexacode color right here. So that's essentially it. I hope you guys found this video super helpful. This is great for certain booking functionalities. If you did find it super helpful, please leave me a comment. These videos take me a very long time to make. I also want to let you know I've done many free Webflow tutorials on this YouTube channel, so check out the playlist right here. And I also have a paid Webflow course and a freelance course in case any of you guys are interested. My name is Derek Su. I'm a Sydney-based Webflow developer and web designer. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.